How's it going, everybody? Nerds Rising here, and welcome back to the Nerd Cave. In today's video, it is finally that time once again for the top wins of the month, and this time we're going to be looking at the month of September. Now, I was trying to get this video out a couple days ago, but as always, I am extremely busy and I just run out of time, honestly, to make GBL videos. But anyway, we're going to be taking a look at 10 battles here, and make sure you guys pay close attention because we will be voting on the best win of September at the end of the video, probably in the next couple days or so. So we're going to be getting right into it here. There is going to be a variety of leagues. For the most part, they're mostly Great League battles, but also keep in mind that these are through the entire month of September, which is basically the whole season. So some of these battles are obviously going to be in the lower ELO range, but just keep in mind that the other opponents are also going to be in that same ELO range since it is from like 2-3 weeks ago. So anyway, let's start it off here with fellow content creator Win Regalia, and let's get right into the battles here and see what we've got going on here. So first battle, we have Shadow Quag, Shadow Dusclops, and Frostlass in the Open Great League. And Win Regalia picks up a pretty neat, I would say pretty decent lead overall again to the Altaria. Now, Altaria obviously is going to be favored here the longer the battle goes on. But definitely in the 1 and 0 shields, you definitely would probably want to be the Quag in the situation. And looks like he's okay to get the shield there. Does let the Quag go and actually banks a Mud Bomb and switches out. Doesn't look like he was going to make another Stone Edge there. So switches into the Shadow Dusclops and actually going to let this go as well. This gets the Dusclops very low, but he does make the Ice Punch. But despite this being a Shadow Dusclops, this still probably isn't going to KO. It doesn't KO, and can he make another one? And on very low HP, the Dusclops does make another Ice Punch here, and gets the final shield from the Altaria here. And now I think you bring in the Frostlass, farm all the way down, and Frostlass up 2 shields to 0 is going to do very well, unless there's like a basket on in the back or something. But really, Frostlass with the 2-0 shield has really nice matchups against everything. And there is a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. Now, it looks like the opponent is throwing right away here, does have the Mud Bomb banked on the Quag, and makes a very nice play here. Actually waits one turn, and then switches into the Quag and throws a Mud Bomb. And the question is, was it a CMP sack? And yes, it absolutely was a CMP sack swap. One of the hardest skills to do in the game. And there is a victory bell on the back end. This is just game over. Frostlass can easily just farm up to 100 energy, Avalanche the Vic, Shadow Ball the G-Fisk, and that's going to be a GG. So CMP sack swaps usually, in the past, I will say, are a lot different because there wasn't a one-turn switch in. So all you had to do was basically just switch in on the move, click your move, and then you would win CMP. But in this situation, you actually have to wait one turn. Otherwise, you'll just end up catching the move and you won't be able to use your energy. So very impressively done there by Win Regalia to start us off in the video. And let's get into the next one here. We have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wee running the triple Galarian birds with the triple nuke as well. All 3 have Brave Bird, and all 3 are not running Ancient Power. They're running Shoot Your Sight on the Articuno there, Close Combat on the Zapdos, and Payback on the Moltres. And he actually instant swaps into the Articuno there, and the opponent also instantly pivoted into their Galarian Stunfisk. So really unfortunate there, but plays very nicely so far, throwing on CMP here, and the opponent did not overfarm here. So this allows him to basically minimize the opponent's energy gain here. So nicely played so far. I imagine now we're going to be seeing that Galarian Zapdos come back in, farm all the way down, and we are. And I believe there was a Trevenant on the lead, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll now have some energy to throw at the Trevenant when it comes back in. And the question is, do you bait or do you just full send it? He is absolutely full sending the Brave Bird here. And is it going to land here? It does land through 2 shields. It one-shots the Trevenant, and there isn't a Azumarill in the back. This is a Fairy type into a Dark type, but the thing is here, he has Wing Attack and Brave Bird, and I think as long as he throws on good timing here, he should be able to make 3 Brave Birds before the Azu makes 3 Ice Beams or Play Roughs. And let's see, they are on Ice Beam. Has to make sure he's throwing very carefully here, and does throw very nicely here after 4 Wing Attacks. That is correct timing. Doesn't allow any more than 1 turn of energy to sneak through. And I believe even though he is debuffed here, he should still be okay, because even if the Azu somehow makes another move, I believe he does have enough energy on the Zapdos to where he should be able to make a Brave Bird on the Zapdos. So he does actually just shield the Moltres up, Brave Birds it, switches into the Zapdos to counter down, and that is a very nicely played game. So very nice energy management there, and you absolutely love to see Brave Bird after Brave Bird just connect over and over again. So nice win there by this trainer. Moving into the next one, we have MEJP2, one of the spiciest guys out there in the community right now. Has regularly won a few of Calamanto's spice competitions, and today is no different because he has brought a level 50 Hundo Eevee I believe, level 49 Hundo Fomantis and a level 50 Skiploom into the open Great League. Absolute mad lad. And let's see what MEJP2 can do for us today in this battle. We have Eevee into Swampert. And honestly, I'm imagining, unless you're seeing a Ghost type, probably Eevee just loses to most things, because it's only like 1200 CP, and he brings in his level 50 Skiploom. It is 1093 CP into the Swampert. He does have double grass, so it makes sense why he's safe switching, but the opponent has a Haunter. What in the world? Like an absolute wall to this poor Skiploom running the grass and fairy type moves, excuse me. I've got medical things on my mind, and the Haunter unfortunately does KO the Skiploom with his Shadow Punch, and he brings back in the Eevee. It is the double Ghost moveset on the Haunter, but that Shadow Ball still gets the Eevee like into the half health range and goes straight for the dig here. What is the opponent going to have in the back here? They bring back in the Swampert. He brings in the Fomantis, and it's actually a Razor Leaf Fomantis, and these Razor Leafs, despite this Fomantis not even breaking 1000 CP, actually are chunking, and he does just barely make the Leaf Blade there, the last possible second, and gonna get a shield here. And now he still does have 2 shields, but these Volt Switches are going to add up quite a bit from the Raichu here, and honestly, this is looking extremely tough here. I'm not really sure, unless the opponent maybe tries to overfarm, and I believe they were going for the farm down there, recognizing he had 2 shields, but they underestimate how much energy the Eevee has. Eevee goes for the dig, takes out the Raichu. The Swampert's going for the farm down, and on 1 HP, the Eevee makes the body slam. Oh my gosh. And actually 2 shield flexes on the opponent as well. Now, obviously there they weren't throwing because they knew he had 2 shields, but that is absolutely incredible to see this team actually get a win in the Open Great League. Very nicely done by MEJP2. And as always, keep on rocking the spice, man. Truly incredible work here. And in the next battle here, we have MIDAZOLAM running the triple gunk shot theme team. And this is a really exciting battle, guys. You're going to really like this one, I think. So getting into it here, we have Octillery into Alolan Ninetales. And maybe I have this sped up. I think he must have sped this up a little bit, because I'm pretty sure I have all these battles the same speed. Yeah, let's just slow that down a little bit. That is flying too fast for even me to commentate on. I will definitely be stumbling over my words on this. So we slowed it down a little bit. But getting in the triple gunk shot theme team here, we have Octillery on the lead into an Alolan Ninetales. Now, Octillery does have gunk shot and lock on, so it gets to these moves very quickly, and this is still going super fast, but we're just going to deal with it. He actually does bait there with the Octazooka, gets the shield, and then lands the gunk shot onto the Lantern. And Lantern here is pretty neutral in this situation, but looks like the Obstagoon's going to be committing to the full farm down here. They are committing to the farm down. Does get the farm down, and what is going to be in the back? Unfortunately, it's the Umbreon. I was really hoping they brought back in the A9 there so that he could gunk shot the A9, but the cool thing here is he actually lands the gunk shot. The opponent shields up the Night Slash, so he has landed now 2 gunk shots, brings in the Swalot here, and Swalot is also running gunk shot. Did get access to Mud Shot, and it looks like the opponent is now all shields down, so we'll be able to land this gunk shot, and then there will be absolutely nothing protecting this poor A9 from the gunk shot. And folks, this is going to be 4 gunk shots landing in one video, and unfortunately the opponent is a Destroyer Fun, and they do actually surrender as the gunk shot is landing. So we see 4 trash cans land in one video, and the opponent used both of their shields on bait. So even though that battle went by super quickly, that still was absolutely incredible to see 4 gunk shots land in one video. And very nicely played by MIDAZOLAM. Moving into the next battle here, we have Grant1232353 running the actually shiny Greninja. I didn't have a shiny to put in the thumbnail, or in the graphics, excuse me, and Shadow Swampert and then Shadow Golbat. And he actually has a Rapidash switch into his Greninja here. Gonna call the Body Slam bait here. I believe they did only farm up to 4, and then banks some energy and brings in the Shadow Golbat. And if you guys didn't notice, I actually put this wrong on the graphic. The Greninja actually is running Hydro Pump. So let me actually change that just so you guys, well, you know what, I'm not going to change it. But the Greninja is running Hydro Pump, which is why, if you're wondering why it was taking him so long to get to that Hydro Cannon, and he brings in the Shadow Golbat here, and the opponent actually has a Jirachi to meet the Golbat, which is really unfortunate. And I believe, let's see here, yeah, he still does have some energy banked on the Greninja. I think he actually did bank the Hydro Pump before switching out here, and now Shadow Swampert has a lot of work to do here. They do have a Scrafty in the back, and unfortunately, I think if the opponent no-shields one of these Hydro Cannons, he simply just loses. But if they do double shield here, maybe the Greninja can actually Hydro Pump the Scrafty. We'll have to see. He is getting very low. If the opponent no shields, this is just game over. And do they shield it? Yes, they do shield it, and now makes the combo play with the Hydro Pump. Is this going to one-shot? Yes, it does, from nearly full health. And now these confusions are going to be double resisted, and all he has to do is make the Night Slash and farm down, and that should be a GG, and actually the Night Slash just KOs, gets the unnecessary boost for the road as well. And that's going to be a GG. Was actually the Rapidash on the lead there? I kind of was stuck talking at the beginning. Let's look at that again. I just want to make sure that I saw that correctly. No, Jirachi actually was on the lead, and then they brought in the Rapidash, and he actually banked the Hydro Pump there in the lead. So very well played by Grant. You absolutely love to see the shiny Greninja with the Hydro Pump there. I can't say I've ever seen a Greninja running Hydro Pump before, so very cool to see. And moving into the next battle here, we have BillestBill here running a very cool triple Shadow team. And let's see what he can do here. We have Shadow Golbat on the lead into a Shadow Suicune, and the Shadow Suicune is running Ice Fang. Oh my gosh, the opponent is running some Spice. He save switches into the Shadow Magneton here. Yeah, Shadow Magneton. And the opponent actually answers with a Shadow Wailord. So the opponent out here apparently trying to outdo this trainer for Spice. And it looks like Shadow Wailord actually will be able to double shield and farm down if they want to. So we'll have to see what he decides to do. He does actually grab both shields, but Wailord does farm down here. And this is a little bit awkward because neither of his back Pokemon really want to tank any energy from the Shadow Wailord here. So he does bring in the Golbat here, and actually it looks like he might shield. Yeah, he is going to shield this up. He does get the Surf, and does he? What does he do here? They bring back in the Suicune. I'm not sure if that's the play by this opponent. Maybe they should have just kept alignment there, but I guess we don't know what's in the back, and is going to overfarm, it looks like. The opponent is probably going to go for a Bubble Beam here. I don't think there's enough for a nuke. It is just a Bubble Beam, and going to farm up to the back-to-back Hydros here. And I believe since this is a Shadow Suicune, this should KO here. And he does go for it here. And what do they have in the back? They have a Shadow Venusaur in the back. Oh no, but it is running Razor Leaf actually. And maybe there is a chance. Since it's not running the Vine Whip here, it's not going to get to a move very quickly. He might actually be able to farm all the way down. And this is going to be very close. Actually commits to the farm down. Farms down the Wailord with like 2 HP. And leads with a move and gonna Poison Fang the Venusaur. So the opponent also running a very cool triple Shadow team there, but he gets the win with like 2 HP remaining. Very nicely played by this trainer here, and very cool team as well. It's always cool to see the triple Shadow teams in action. Jamie Finn would be very proud. And moving into the next battle here, we have KitKatDeluxe in the Open Great League running the Quagsire Frostlass and the Ninetales with a Scarf, and picks up the absolute worst lead you could imagine, the Razor Leaf Tropius into the Quagsire. So switches into the Frostlass here, and is met with a Water Gun Lantern. So basically getting fully hard countered here. I'm not sure if he even makes 2 Shadow Balls here. This is going to be very, very close. No shields the Surf, and can he make the move? And I believe he gets the new mechanic there, and barely makes the Shadow Ball on 1 HP, and he does go down after the Shadow Ball, so that was new mechanic there. But unfortunately, this is a Water Gun Lantern, so Quagsire not going to be able to fully farm down. If this was a Spark Lantern, maybe actually could have committed to the full farm down, but not going to be able to do that. Going to have to throw energy, and now isn't going to have any extra energy to throw out the Tropius. Instantly going to have to switch into the Kanto Ninetales, and unfortunately, the opponent has a Greninja in the back. And honestly, I'm not really seeing a win con at this point, because the opponent still has a shield in play, and Greninja obviously is super spammy, and he gets baited as well. So this is going to take an absolute miracle to pull off here. I'm not really sure how he's going to do it. Is going to commit both shields, it looks like here, and fortunately doesn't get baited again, but unless the opponent maybe no shields this, I'm not really seeing a win con, and they do actually no shield that. And Ninetales gets the farm down. Oh my gosh, opponent. I'm not sure why they didn't shield that, but he does now have a chance. This is a Razor Leaf Tropius, so not going to be charging up energy very quickly here. And he does make the move, switches into the Quagsire, has to make the Stone Edge, and on 1 HP, Quagsire makes the Stone Edge there. If the Quagsire gets farmed down, the opponent is not in Weather Ball range there. And I believe the opponent did have the move, but Kanto Ninetales would have won CMP anyway. And despite the hard counter mon for mon there, he manages to get the win. So very nicely done. I think the opponent kind of misplayed that as well. But either way, still very impressive to get a win against a team that hard counters your line. And moving into the next battle, we have Ripley 320 running the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, Shadow Latios, and Chestnut here, and picks up the absolute worst lead possible. Medicham into the Alolan Sandslash, and it looks like this might be another one that was sped up by the trainer, so the battle is moving pretty quickly, but he does switch into a Galarian Stunfisk here. But the nice thing is, this is actually not that good of a matchup for the Galarian Stunfisk here. This is not Rock Slide range, and Ridley recognizes that, and now going to potentially force both shields or just straight up take back switch advantage here. The opponent did throw right away. I think the opponent probably switched in there, probably assuming that the Rock Slide would KO, but it didn't. And now he just fully sacrifices the Alolan Sandslash, recognizing that the Medicham was going to destroy it anyway. And it looks like he's going to give both shields to the Shadow Latios here. And the opponent has a Lantern in the back, but check out the Spark damage, guys. Spark has already gotten the Latios to half health, but does throw on CMP there, maximizes his overfarm. And it looks like we're about to see a Latios, basically 1v3 a team, guys. Psychic barely doesn't KO, but he does get KO after one more Dragon Breath. And then Shadow Latios is able to make a Dragon Claw into the G-Fisk. And with a shield still in play, the Shadow Latios basically fully sweeps an entire team. So very nicely done. And by the way, guys, just for the future, if you're going to send me in battles, sorry, I went backwards by accident. If you're going to send me in battles, just send them into me at normal speed. That way, I don't get confused with the speeds, because some of these trainers, it looks like, have sped these up to like 1.5 or maybe 2 times speed. And then I'm accidentally like speeding them up even more. So just for the future, make sure you're just sending them in at normal speed. That way I can get them all uniformly created here. But anyway, I believe we're into the last 2 battles. We have Meloette 2001 here, running the Alolan Sandslash, Gligar, and Shadow Beedrill. And again, the Alolan Sandslashes are just picking up absolutely terrible leads here into the Obstagoon. And unfortunately, the opponent meets the Gligar here with Jirachi. Now, the wing attacks are resisted here, but Jirachi doesn't charge up super quickly since it's running Confusion. So I believe with a very small energy head start, he might actually be able to take this matchup here. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll have to see how it plays out. These Confusions are chunking, and I believe it would have been nice to get this dig off first, because now the opponent could actually just let this go and basically just take their shield advantage. But we'll have to see how this plays out. They do commit their last shield, and now Gligar does outpace to another dig, and now Gligar has taken back switch advantage, which means the Shadow Beedrill will be aligned to that Obstagoon, and they do bring back in the Obstagoon. They are going to take out the Gligar, excuse me, and now the Beedrill can come in here. Night Slash will hurt, but the Shadow Beedrill can tank one, and there is a Nidoqueen in the back, and since he switched out fast enough, he should make the move before they Earth Power him and one-shot him. And then the Shadow Beedrill should just be able to clean this game up pretty comfortably. This is going to be the Earth Power. Probably will be one-shotting the Alolan Sandslash, and it does. But now, Shadow Beedrill is going to go to town here. Get to the X-Scissor. Slightly overfarms as well. Very nicely done. Has to make sure he outpaces before the Obstagoon gets to 2 Night Slashes. Does KO with the X-Scissor. And now this poor Obstagoon is going to take a Shadow X-Scissor to the face. And I'm not sure, actually, before the X-Scissor buff, if this would have been enough to KO, but after the X-Scissor buff, it absolutely is going to be one-shotting the Obstagoon. And Meloette, despite getting hard countered there, takes the win. Very nicely done. And moving into the next battle, guys, and the final battle as well, we have the Shadow Master himself, Jamie Finn 1415, running a very cool Ultra League line. The only Ultra League battle, by the way, in this video, running Shadow Magneton, Chestnut. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I didn't put the IVs on here, but I believe that this is a Hundo Slurpuff that's level 50, maybe even level 51. And Jamie Finn picks up the Nightmare lead, the counter Poliwrath into his Shadow Magneton, and he switches into the Slurpuff and unfortunately is met by a Poison type. This is a Shadow Drapion, but fortunately for him, it looks like the Shadow Drapion is not running Sludge Bomb. They go straight for the Aqua Tail, and I believe because of that, Slurpuff should make 2 moves here, unless they're running like Sludge Bomb and Aqua Tail, but they're not. They are running the Aqua Tail, makes the Flamethrower. This should be forcing a shield, and at the very least going to get a switch advantage, get a shield advantage, excuse me, in the mid-game. And Slurpuff actually lives that on 1 HP. The opponent committed to the farm down and actually gets both shields there. Now, unfortunately, the Drapion does have a lot of energy because of the farm down, and Shadow Magneton is outrageously glassy, so going to have to double shield here. Gets the defense drop, and the opponent has a Nidoqueen in the back, so the opponent is double strong against the Magneton here. But check this play out, guys. He waits an entire fast move there and then catches the Earth Power. We have to rewind that, guys. So if he throws an extra Volt Switch here into the Magneton, check this out. If he throws an extra Volt Switch there into the Nidoqueen, his Magneton will be caught in the middle of the fast move and he won't be able to catch. So he actually waits for them to throw one more Poison Jab. After this move here, he waits an entire Poison Jab, check this out, and then makes the catch of the Earth Power onto the Chestnut. absolute insane BM there from him, and the opponent's going to be forced to throw right away. They cannot get to the move, and he gets to the Frenzy Plant, and now the Poliwrath is going to have to Ice Punch him, or he will take them out with a Frenzy Plant, and this should allow the Magneton to outpace to another Discharge, and that should be a GG. Now, I'm not quite sure if this KOs. It's going to be very, very close. It just barely doesn't, but one more Volt Switch does the trick, and that is going to be a GG, as always, by Jamie Finn. If you guys somehow don't know about Jamie Finn, you have to make sure that you check out his channel. But anyway, I believe that is the last battle here, guys. And now we're going to go into the honorable mentions here. Not that many people submitted battles this time, so only a couple people missed out. But as always, the battles were all so good. I could have used any of these battles very easily for this video, but don't feel bad if you send me in a battle and you didn't see it featured. Just send me in another one next month, as I always say, because I do this every single month. So massive thank you again to everyone who sent in the battles. This is always a ton of fun for me to commentate on. And as you guys see, we have our 2 previous winners there. Jamie Finn, who won the first one, and then One Jedi Music, who won the last one that we did. And I believe that's going to be all she wrote, folks. So again, thank you. If you're not subscribed and you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, because the more subscribers we can get, the more Pokemon my wife will let me play.